Here we go. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the show. You're watching Seeing the Unseen with Christopher LaPrath. My name's Kenan, the producer. Tonight, the title is Many Paths. And there's this famous saying, there are many paths to the top of the mountain. Well, what is the top of the mountain? What's up there that makes the path so worthwhile? Well, one definition I like for the top of the mountain is from yoga, and it's to create unconditional inner peace. That one, it's sort of a big deal. So, all the best on your journey there, and hopefully our paths will get to cross soon and often. And if you watch the show, we'll get to at least be seen by you 3 times a week. That's Monday, Wednesday, and Sunday at 6 p.m. Arizona time. And for anyone and everyone out there joining us, be sure to say something in the chat, whichever platform you're on, YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch. Just say something so I know you're here. If you don't say something, there's no way for me to know. So don't be shy, because there's no charge for the first time, and then going forward after that, it's $10 per card, or you can pay $100 and cover the entire month for readings. So thanks for listening. Enjoy the show. Here's Christopher.
Hey, Marilyn, Abby, and Marilyn, great blessings. I light the incense for you. And of course, to anyone else coming on the show tonight, this is finding and following the path of your heart. That is what we're here to do on this planet. And this incense helps you to clear anything and everything that is no longer serving you to your best and highest, in order to follow that path of your heart. So, great blessings to you. We've got a usually small show, so I want to address that. We've been working we've been working a lot spiritually and doing some sessions for ourselves. And one of my teachers told me, she goes, Chris, see if you can take the next 5 days off. And so I've kind of manifested it. I must, because they've been smaller shows, but I love that. So I can actually talk to you 3 that are on the show tonight a little bit more in depth, and share some ideas and some plans. But anyway, the group card tonight, it's called Many Paths, and it has to deal with all paths do lead to spirit. We're only here for a short time. But what do we do with that time, or what are we creating with our time here, or how do we view our time here? So it can be a path of suffering, it can be a path of wisdom, a path of bliss, a path of loss, depending on what it is that you're wanting to create. It's like the man that was walking by these 2 stone masons, and he says to the one stone mason, he goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, I'm laying stones." And he says to the other guy, "What are you doing here?" He goes, "Oh, I'm building a cathedral." Bit of a difference, right? It's one man has a job, the other man has found his heart and his calling. And he realizes that he's part of an endeavor that's much greater than himself. So with you, Marilyn and Abby and Marilyn, understand that you're part of something much greater than yourselves. But what's happening now is for you to take a step and leave the beaten path. This is doing something out of the ordinary, and understand that heaven and earth are conspiring in your behalf, to help you and to support you in this move, whatever is going to be happening in the next few days and weeks. So, you're being called to step out of your comfort zone. Bottom line, that's what this card is about. But understanding that you're building a cathedral. Okay? And since there's only 3 of us on tonight, any questions that you have, shout them out. Okay. All right, my dear. Abby's on first tonight. So this is called the middle world. Everything you do, Abby, is not mundane. It's absolutely important. The middle world is like day-to-day reality. Everything you can do right now can be done and is going to be done with kind of its ease. It's if you look at this tree, it has kind of a bubble around it. So this is like major protection around you, major guidance around you, but also for you, Marilyn, and also you, Marilyn. I love it. But this is the world is your playground, and you're creating something greater. Ask for guidance, demand it from the invisible realms, from whatever is out there. Have that conspire on your behalf in a greater way. That's really important. So I'll talk a little bit about, since it's just the 3 of you, talk a little bit about, where did I write it? I have my notes all over my desk. I apologize. So when I was in San Antonio, Teresa Lopez, who's on the show, she has Serenity Star, which is a nonprofit, and she focuses on helping alcoholics and drug addicts get back into life. A tremendous amount of support. Part of their recovery program is they work at this cafe on weekends, and it has really built an incredible community. Well, Teresa pulled me aside. We were talking. We basically talked for 4 days. She's like, you need to start a church. And I know Abby and Marilyn, we went back and forth on this too, but I came up with High Road Bridge Collective, High Road Bridge Foundation, because it was about taking the high road. And I said, well, she goes, but you focus on the community. She said, one of my passions, because she had been a social worker for many years, is 23,000 teenagers every year roll out of the foster care program. So when they turn 18, boom, they're out of the foster care program. They no longer have a place to live or go. 20% of them go homeless. It's appalling. And so as one of my, in starting this nonprofit church, that's one of the things I'd like to focus on, but I'd like to get some of your feedback. But I'm bringing this up Abby, because both you and Marilyn have been an inspiration, with your travels, with Unity, with who you've helped, how you've helped them, and who you are. So anyway, I wanted to run that past you as to what we're thinking about, and creating this nonprofit, but doing it in a very, very spiritual way, like offering some of these young people, as well as adults, not just the foster children, but anyone that comes in for these seminars, to be able to benefit from that. So that's an example, Abby, of what I want to share with you with your card, to kind of bring up personally as to what's going on. And like when you have a tooth, like I had a tooth pulled last week, and you've got this, it's like literally old karma leaving. Your teeth are like the spiritual centers of your body. So it's creating new pathways for me. Hey, Ashley. Ashley's here.
Oh, hi.
All right, my dear Marilyn. So, Marilyn Maddox, here we go. Stand still, sit still. You don't have to stand all the time. Universe, make me aware, make me hear what I have not permitted myself to hear. Make me see, give me the sight of what I've previously been unwilling or unable to see for whatever reason. So there's more than one way to get ketchup out of a bottle. Most people are caught up in the doing, like shaking the bottle, right? Trying to get the ketchup out. But there's a lot more effective way. If you hold the bottle and you hit your hand like this. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the physics of ketchup bottles, but my point, Marilyn, excuse me, is by doing prayer work, you're accomplishing more than 99.9% of the people out there. Whether that's prayer work or meditation work, your words are very powerful, and I think it's really important for you to recognize that your connection with spirit's very, very strong. Also, put some fresh salt at your doorway with the intention that nothing and no one enters here unless it's for my best and highest good. And then, if you do have people over, clean the house energetically after they leave. Really important. Sage, incense, that type of thing. Okay. All right, Marilyn Pitts, here we go. I was laughing so hard when I was using last night the illustration about the quilting and cutting the threads. and that you texted me and said that, and you sent me pictures of the quilt that you were putting together. It was amazing. I loved it. And the other thing too, I'll show you all what Marilyn has done. Just to give you an idea.
Maryland says she thinks you need to take Thanksgiving off. You drink Earl Grey.
Yeah. So thank you, Marilyn. So Marilyn sent me this picture, and I really love this because it goes along with our group card tonight. So she cuts all these different pieces of quilting material, and then look at how she kind of puts the patterns together. But here's what I love. Here's what I love. She said, I cut 400 pieces of fabric this week. I can't tell now, but you know my saying. They don't have to match. They just have to go together. They don't have to match. They just have to go together. And I love that. I just think that's such a great philosophy of not only quilting, but life itself. Okay. Well, thank you, my dear. By Wednesday I should be much better. But I'm doing also this like intense spiritual work at the same time. So I always pay attention. Like in 3 years I've never had 4 people on the show, but I always pay attention to those. Like the 4 of you, there's something important here. So it's I think that's really important. Well, you want something really specific tonight, Marilyn. So I worked with this client one time, and she claimed to see things, but she was in her ego about it. So I remember one time she went over to one of our mutual friends, and she went over for coffee, and she jumps up and she goes, "Oh my God, there's the leprechaun in your backyard." Well, immediately that woman no longer became her friend. She's like, there's something wrong. Now, my point of telling you this story is there are things that you see and that you're getting more clear about seeing. You just have to be very judicious about who you tell. You can tell anyone on the show. You can. I don't know if Larry's ready for some of it, but your capacity of what you're seeing, trust it more. But what my point of telling you that story with this woman is there's no ego involved with you at all. My point of telling you the story is be very judicious about who you talk to. The reason I'm bringing that up is because of your, and really, actually, Marilyn, and Abby, all 4 of you, this ability for you to see is expanding. So think about it this way, Marilyn. If you're looking at something that in the distance, and you're like, what is that? Like, what is that? You have to wait for a while to maybe for it to come into focus, for it to come closer. That's the way this kind of ability is. It's not so much about talking or not talking to people about it. It's about sitting with it. So this kind of goes along with Marilyn's card, with standing still. It's about sitting with it, and it will come to you as you know what it is. And I know I've read for all of you. And sometimes I don't know what something is or what it means. So I have to sit with it, and sometimes I'll even call you or text you the next day to let you know what that is. So with you, Marilyn, and with all of us, just sit with it.
Actually, she says it's a process.
Okay. What'd you say? Okay.
She needs to process it a while.
Yeah, you need to process for a while. And sometimes it's actually not even figuring it out. It's like feeling it out. Like you have a really good feeler. Put it that way. Or it's actually right. Okay, Ash. This is your drumming circle. So the drum is very much similar to the Many Paths card, which was the theme of the show. It's about taking a bold step forward, but in no uncertain terms calling in your guides, calling in your team. In the next 2 to 3 months, you're going to find your rhythm, actually. In the meantime, things are kind of like chaos. And so it's literally beating a drum. I don't know if you do drum circles. I don't know if you listen to drum music. But there's something with the drum that's really powerful for you. But now's the time to move on. I don't know if you're thinking about doing something, but move on it. Take a step forward toward it. It's like my the charity organization. It was like, what is this? What is this? What is this? And kind of it gels forward. It moves forward. That's the same thing that's happening with you. So, when you're drumming, call in spirit, call in your guides. I really think it's about forming a drum circle. I mean literally. Okay. And we have Kat and Jared.
Kat and Jared, and then we person Brianna.
Gianna, Jared, Kat, and Brianna. Thank you. Hey Jared, hey Kat. Thanks for hopping on. Coyote medicine. You've got to look up the coyote medicine. You're going to love this, Jared. Because it's what we were talking about last night. Things are not going to go as planned. They really are not. It's kind of like, it's the energy, what they call of divine deception. It's kind of like, God leading the Israelites and Moses to the edges of the Red Sea where there was no escape. No escape. That's coyote medicine. It's kind of like that. That's the idea of it. And then, hey, the Red Sea parted, and they made it across. So this is these detours or disappointments are like tests of faith along the road. So in any way, shape, or form, do you release, clear, destroy, and uncreate the need to manipulate any situation? You can, of course, add energy to it, but when you get too strongly into the manipulation of it, that's when it can become a problem. But directed with your body, not just your mind. So that's where Kat can come in. I mean, I love it that you two can bounce off of each other, but Kat, you've got the spiral card. This is keep going deeper. The greatest gold is found sometimes in very deep mines. This is you going deeper into your childhood, and it's not that you're carrying that with you in this right now in the present, but it's like you going deeper to gather these ahas and these gems, and then letting it go, and letting go of the story of how childhood should be, or the story. It's like yesterday when we were talking about the group card and calling upon the ancestors, right? Bringing those ancestors in. This is going deeper, but at the same time that you're going deeper, the spiral is also going higher and wider. So it's going in, it's spiraling in, going deep, and it's also going the other direction, wider and higher, to have you create what it is that you actually want. But it's letting go of like expectations of, well, it's like putting salt in a pie instead of sugar, right? You just know you can start over. But it's seeing the value of where you're at. There's something else with this. Oh my gosh, I actually said you go to drum circles and you're hosting the CE5 event. You're just drumming last week. That's really cool. All right. So when you're going through the spiral, which is growth and transformation, what I'm saying, Kat, is you're not the person to go to a self-help seminar or read a self-help book and go, I've changed. I've absolutely changed. That's not real growth. That is not real transformation. The spiral is about real transformation. And man, I tell you, it's very rewarding, but it is, I'm preaching to the choir here. You know what I'm talking about. This is like descending into the depths and rebirth. So this is about you being reborn in a very, very big way. And Jared, the coyote, again, doesn't mean that God's trying to trick you. Look at it as like a test of faith and going, it's going to work out. That's just coyote. It's just coyote. Okay. All right, Brianna, thank you for being here. So, Brianna, so this is the 27 card. It's called Hunter. 2-7 adds up to 9. There's definitely an ending going on for you, which is necessary in order to create a new beginning. So like an ending in, this, it can be like a job, a relationship, just the old ways of thinking, or thinking that this is the way you have to be, or certain things, your life was supposed to go this way, and then it just definitely didn't. Trust that nature has a way of providing for you, just like the hunter. And take a look at the gifts that you've gathered along the way. Like the hunter, he pays attention to the tracks, of course. He pays attention to broken twigs. All of that. I'm not a hunter, but you know what I'm saying. Take a little bit of credit for where you've come and what you're doing and what you've learned, and really begin to use that. Be careful of settling for roadkill. Don't go for the roadkill. This is upping your game. Oh, get it? Game. Hunter game. This is leveling up your game. And finding what it is you truly want. That's where you're very close to. You're very close to getting that and having that, but it being more fulfilling. It's like I can describe to you what it's like to eat creme brulee, but until you actually eat creme brulee and you actually get the experience, you're moving into a realm where you think you've had creme brulee, but now you're moving into actually having it, actually truly experiencing it. And that it's okay sometimes to let go. This is about the let go. Sometimes hunters have to come home empty-handed. It's okay. It's okay to let go and be at peace with that. Okay, do we have everybody?
It's everybody.
I think we got everybody.
Oh, Janet One just came on seconds ago.
Janet won. Okay, thanks, Janet. I'm glad we caught you just before the show ended.
Perfect timing.
Yeah, nice to have you again. Okay. So, Janet, this is Pachamama, but what I first saw here is getting some body work done, like massage, or you're needing to move. You needed to move. Massage, acupuncture, yoga, stretching. You know, they have these stretch labs now that you can go to. It's really important for you to move more. Things are, and when you move, it helps to physiologically move out of your system things that no longer serve you to your best and highest. Okay? Yeah, this is like, it's also the time to move it out of your body and to stop suffering. And letting go of the belief of suffering. And letting go of that myth. It's like the Eve being punished for eating the apple. That, if you want to call it a myth, we'll call it a myth, but where you're taking the blame for anything or anyone, it's releasing that. And that's where some of the massage will help release that from your body. Okay. All right, now do we have everybody?
Yes. Oh wait, Brenda Bird. They're coming on again. Okay.
Hey, Brenda. Okay. All right, Brenda. Glad I caught you.
Oh, and Janet says she's.
So, Janet, you've been in the gym working out. That's great. But now you're needing the massage. You're needing some body work. Okay. And but it's also, Janet, moving the blame out of your system. Anywhere where you've taken on blame. Yeah, that's really important. Brenda and I were born the same day. November 3rd. We're November 3rd babies. So this is the 4-4 card. 4-4 angels, 8 abundance. So this is your concept or precept changing around overgiving, over-sacrificing, overdoing. Where God loves a cheerful giver, right? You've heard that. I don't know where that came from, but it's a saying. God loves a cheerful giver. But does he love a cheerful taker? Well, yeah. It's like, it's give and take. And anywhere where you've gotten that out of balance, Brenda, where you've overgiven or overdone, are you willing to release, clear, destroy, and uncreate that and bring back in more of the... Because the whole point of making a sacrifice, Native American ancient cultures, was to honor and thank the higher powers that be for providing in return or recognition of what they were getting in return. And this is where people like, well, I'm sacrificing, but I'm not allowing the return. This is you allowing the return. Okay. Now, you got everybody?
Yes.
Okay. All right. We'll do this again Wednesday night. Love you all. If you have any questions, text me or instant message me. Good night.